Welcome back to another video. It's Bradford v Forest Green Rovers match reaction. Let me know your thoughts on today's defeat in the comments down below. It's disappointing. It's soul destroying, but it's not surprising. You know, I feel like going into a game, apart from the game getting called off, I felt like this was the most expected result to come out from it. Even though we're on a good run, it was typical City. It's a Bantam'S thing. I mean, why would you set yourself up to fail like that? I mean, I'm talking about Ryan Sparks here with the new season ticket slogan, whatever you want to call it. You know, it's lean and mean a squad. Stay up, don't go bust. We don't accept mediocrity. There's somewhere else as well. And now we've got, it's a Bantam'S thing. I mean, we had Take Me Home before, and, you know, we can't wait to go back home, can we, after a game? And, yeah, we're on a good run. But this is my problem. This is what I hate about this team, you know. And for me, you know, this is on the players. They didn't step up tonight. In many ways, they bottled it. I'm not afraid to say that they bottled it, because if you can't go and beat 23rd in the table, Forest Green Rovers, yeah, they're on a decent little run. You know, they've only lost one in the last 5 now. They've beat Barrow, got a point against Wrexham. I think they beat Walsall as well. So they've had some good points against teams like us. But you can't lose to 23rd in the league if you want to be challenging for the playoffs and get into League One. You can't do it. And too many times the Bradford City teams and this team this season go on a good run and then they just put it all to waste. You know, there's no point going on a good run, playing out your skin, showing what a Bradford City team's about, and then, you know, conceding within, well, it wasn't even a minute, it was less than 50 seconds through a poor goal to concede. I mean, you can't, the way we're set up from minute 1, from second 1, sorry, was poor, to say the least. You know, we were lucky not to concede a penalty from the incident that led to the corner. Cross comes in. I can't really remember it, but, you know, you can't let a goal like that go in when you've just started a match. It's not the first time it's happened this season. It happened in Graham Alexander's first game, conceded within a minute or two to Barrow. You know, it's happened many times, and it's a level of character. You know, you work on it for the last few days, and then you go and set up like that. And then we were playing up against you know, 11 men behind the ball throughout the game. Then, you know, they had goal kicks and no one challenged it. You know, Kelly and Tompkinson were allowed to just get the ball, take 3 touches and bring it into their half. They were so content with us having the ball because they've done their own work. We are absolutely shocking at breaking teams down. Whether that, no matter who the manager is, we cannot break a team down who have set up like, you know, they've got the wall of China across the back line. We can't do it. You know, I don't know if it's a quality thing. It probably is, but I think it's more of a character thing, and a lack of mouse in the penalty box. You know, so many times we've got the ball into good areas, and the final ball was just off. You know, there was no discipline on the ball, because I felt like, you know, we give the ball away too cheaply sometimes. Sometimes we didn't pull the trigger when we should have, and then other times we just played aimless balls that looked aimless, but I also think it was just a lack of positioning and a lack of movement in the box, because we were so stale in that penalty area. You know, no one made gambles. There were some good balls that did go in, no one made a run. You know, we had a fantastic opportunity. I think it was Tyle Smith again. I won't be surprised if it wasn't that lad. I don't know, he's a footballer. I mean, someone put it, he's a poacher that can't poach. You know, he's shocking. Who bought that lad, I do not know. Because he looks good, you know, he looks like the real deal. And then he's in front of goal, and he's got absolutely nothing. I'm speechless with him. But he wasn't the only player, because he only came on for 10 minutes, and I'm saying it with his chance, and it probably won't, to be fair. I won't trust my eyes. But, you know, there are so many players out there that, you know, I'll go through the player ratings in a bit, but, yeah, shocking performances, and it shows a level of character that we don't have. And one thing I don't understand is with Graham Alexander, but he seems to do is, a lot of managers do it, I don't understand it. You know, Derek Adams did it by throwing 3 strikers on the pitch. And sticking with like a 4 back, you know, like a 4-3-3, no wingers but 3 strikers. He did that a lot. What is the point in that? You know, you've got loads of postmen but no post. You know, no, you've got loads of postmen but no post. You know, you've got all the players to deliver, but there's nothing to deliver. Oh no, no, that's not right. Yeah, I was right at first time. God Christ, I'm confusing myself. You've got no postman, but you've got the post. They're all on bleeding strike. That were Derek Adams. But under flipping Alexander, we bring off our fullbacks for wingers, and you know, put a winger in midfield. We just throw loads of wingers in. You know, we throw all the flipping ingredients in to bake the cake, but then there's no bleeding chef. You know, and why would you bring Brad Halliday off? You know, the player who embodies what a Bradford City player is. I mean, even when he came off, he was stood watching the game, goes out for a corner, he grabs the ball and puts it straight on the spot. You know, it's that level of commitment to the badge that we need, and he was one of the players we brought off. We are a fantastic counter-attacking team, an excellent counter-attacking team. I doubt there's anyone better in the division at counter-attacking than us. We've seen it in the last month and throughout December, that teams who have more possession than us, we will play quick breaks and pass through you because we've got the pace and we've got the quality in the box to finish simple chances. But we can't create simple chances when, you know, you don't give us space, because we just look lost. We look bereft of all talent, and we don't look like we've got any quality in the squad. And we've seen what we have. And at home against a team down there, they're going to set up like that. So yeah, but all I've got to hope is that it's a bump in the road and it ain't just a blip. You know. We can't continue to play like that, because if you play like that, that season's over. I don't think it's season over yet, but I think you're very close to it if you keep performing like that, because we've had 2 must-win games in the last 3 in Doncaster and Forest Green, and we've gone and lost and drew and put in shambolic performances. Obviously, we would get the ball down a bit and we'd play too slow. You know, I said, you know, we had our pyjamas still on 30 minutes into a game. We were like a team of sloths. You know, we were just so lethargic and, you know, take another 5 touches, play it sideways. And we got into forward areas, we went back. We lost a bit of confidence, I think. You know, and you can't, the fans can only get up for a game for so long. I thought the atmosphere in recent games hasn't been great, to be honest. But in this one, I could sense a bit of an atmosphere building at the beginning of the game. And obviously then, if you go and concede 1 minute in and then you don't respond, and then you're really slow on the ball, you're lethargic, you're kicking the ball out of play, your touch is well off, you're not tracking back, and you're not putting visible effort in, then, you know, you don't deserve the fans to get behind you and chant. So like I say, it was just one of those performances where the whole squad looked disjointed. We didn't look like the team that we've been, and I'm sure Alexander will say that, and I'm sure he'll be as seething as we are, and that's all I can hope for, because I think looking at that, Hughes would have been happy with that. I think Hughes 76% possession, 17 shots, 6 on target. He'd look at that and go, we dominated, we were just unlucky. You're not unlucky, you deserve what you get. You know, they had 3 shots on target, they took their 2 chances. You know, they defended really well, better than us. You know, we were way too open when we lost the ball, and they didn't even look to threaten us, because they had the job done within the first minute. They never looked like conceding. I never looked at us on the attack and thought, you know what, I think we're going to score. I think we've got a bit of momentum behind us. I didn't think that at all. I have at some points, most of the time, the majority of the time under Alexander, I thought that, but tonight I didn't. And we always looked like conceding another. They didn't. You'd say they didn't look like they'd threaten us, but you could just always feel that they'd get another on the break, because we were chasing the game and we were getting more and more open because we kept going for it. And you know, there was another goal coming and it was always going to be them, and it was a sloppy penalty to concede. You know, Kelly dives in, Doidge goes down, and you know, anyway, I'll get into player ratings now. Referee was shocking as well. Surprise, surprise, gets a blackout. You do well because she's passed. But anyway, I don't want to do the Forest Green players ratings. I want to do us. Sam Walker, he gets a 2. I feel like, you know, he was fantastic at commanding his box, and now he's non-existent, you know, in commanding his box. For crosses, I think he's still good at claiming them, but you know, there was an incident in the first 5 minutes or so of the game and it goes over the top of our defence. And I noticed it happened against Doncaster. I thought he should have done better with that, coming out quicker. And when he did, he then got into a game a bit more when those balls came over the top, and he came out for it more. And I think that's what happened with the penalty. He came out for it, decided to run backwards, didn't set himself, and obviously we dived in. And that came from his indecisiveness. And it's been happening more recently, but we've got away with it. And, Doncaster and tonight, we didn't, of course. And that's something I'm a bit concerned about. His cautiousness at coming out for a ball that's been played over the top. Tomkinson gets a 4 because, again, I thought it was one of his worst games, funnily enough, and he still gets a 4 because, he swept everything up, and without him it could have been 4 because, like I said, they did look like a threat on the break, even though they barely broke or barely looked like they could be bothered breaking because they knew that they had to keep the defensive shape, and, they had many balls over the top and Tomkinson had to sweep them. I think he could have been better on the ball. A few switches went out of play. It wasn't his greatest performance, but still was one of the best players on the pitch. Brad Halliday, it wasn't his best game. I'd probably give him a 2. I didn't think he was great at all, to be honest with you. I thought defensively he got done a bit, and going forward his final cross was poor. But saying that, I wouldn't have brought him off because he gives 110%. And, when you're playing against bottom of the league, I thought we needed to make that game more scrappy. I was thinking that, this is a bit it's too nice. The football's too nice. For what Alexander wants, aggressive, high pressing, counter-attacking, let's make it a bit more scrappy. Let's let them play a bit more. We never let them play so they couldn't make any mistakes from it. And we never put them under any pressure because we had all the ball. We were the team that had to try and break them down. It was like a game of chess. And, you've got your Hallidays, your Gilead, your Smallwoods, your Cooks, your 2-10s who want to chase the knockdowns. And that were not available because we didn't make the game scrappy enough for them. And I felt like that bit of intensity, that grit, we didn't have. And a few players bottled a lot of tackles that didn't help either. But yeah, Halliday, I wouldn't have brought him off, but I admit it wasn't his best performance in a Bradford City shirt. Kieran Kelly, I think he's probably got to get a 1 or a 2, hasn't he? Because he gave away the penalty, it was sloppy. His overall performance, again, it probably wasn't his best because I felt like on the ball, we had to be really good on the ball, and, we had to be quick on the ball, and I felt like the centre-backs didn't help that. A bit too pedestrian, too sideways. When we played switches, they weren't timed right. They were too short or too long. And the pitch will play a part, but it's for both teams. You can't use that as an excuse at all, especially when we play on a pitch like this all the time. So we should be used to it now because it's been like this for 3-4 months. So yeah, he didn't have a great game, Kelly, to be fair. Rideout gets a 1 as well. I feel like he had a couple of good tackles one-on-one, but I think I won't say I feel sorry for him because I don't. But the thing is, I do feel like he did all right in some parts of the game, but when he struggles, and he's way off the pace. And he can't catch up with the rest of the team. He got in Richards' way a few times, defensively all over the place. They're shocking in every sense of the word. Oh, Richards, I'll give him a 4. I was a bit confused when he came off, but I know he's limited with his time on the pitch because of his lack of fitness sometimes, and he does get a bit puffy. But I mean, like, out of breath. Out of breath. But when he was running one-on-one with his men, he beat them a lot. Got a few decent crosses in, but that's what I mean. A few good crosses were put into the area. No one gambled on them. No one challenged for them enough. No one win the right areas enough. And but then there were so many overhit crosses and underhit crosses that it's sort of. That's where it just all falls apart as a team, where we just weren't good enough as a collective. Well, he was my man of match, so there you go. Midfield, Gilead, he was alright when he moved to right back. I feel like, I'll give him a 2 because on his 200th game, like I said, the midfield were the problem for me for the majority of the game. They didn't get. I feel like they could have took more risks on the edge of the box in terms of maybe having a shot now and then, especially Smallwood. He got into some good areas. I don't want them to shoot all the time because I think it's a bit stupid, just shouting shoot all the time, to be honest with you. But now and then do have a shot when it opens up, and I don't think either of them did that enough. But on the ball, they didn't play it quick enough. Gilly didn't carry the ball like he has been. And yeah, I feel like you need that precise cutting edge about your passing in the final third. Neither of them had it, and that's what you need from midfield too. First 5-10 minutes of Jamie Walker coming onto a pitch and Chapman in those areas, you saw the massive difference in those players. But again, them two had no end product either, and maybe it's a lack of sharpness, but I would really disappoint with them two, especially Chapman, because Walker's obviously been out for 3-4 months. So yeah, but those two are part of the problem, Smallwood included. He gets the two as well. I feel like there were a couple of tackles I felt like he bottled. It was a typical Smallwood performance where people get on his back, because under Alexander we've seen a different side of him where he's really aggressive, gritty, he's decisive on the ball, he knows what he's doing. Today he was playing that sort of quarterback role again, which I don't think it suits him. I think he's too slow on the ball, too lethargic, too sideways, too backwards. Sometimes you just need an urgent pass. And yeah, I think he gave that sometimes, but he can't play that role for me. Play McDonald in there. I think if we played a midfield to McDonald and Walker, I know you can't start Walker in this game. I'm not saying he should have started him. I'm just saying that if that was our midfield two today, fully fit, I think it would have been a slightly different game. It wouldn't have been a different game, but slightly, because those two offer what you need in a midfield with a back three against a low block. Tariq Wright, he showed nothing during that game. His touch was terrible. His work rate was non-existent. I mean, there was actually one instance where he tracked back and won the ball back and then went on a run and then lost the ball again. He was absolutely useless. And I say that non-sympathetically, if that's a word. It was a disgraceful performance from him. Many others, I don't just want to blame him, but I hoped that he'd have kicked on with those 2 goals and used it as confidence, and he didn't look like a confident player today. And if he did, then God knows. I really don't. And God knows how he managed to stay on that bleeding pitch. I mean, what has he done to Graham Alexander's family? Or Ryan Sparks' family? I mean, I'm obviously joking here. I know that we've probably paid a big fee for him. He's probably playing. There'll be some sort of clause in his contract on loan, and I think that is exactly what's happening, because there's a reason why that man, he's put in some poor performances so far. I thought Saturday, he weren't great, but he got the 2 goals and he were a match winner. Today, he was so far off it. It was disgraceful. Clark Udvar, I don't want to click on you. You were very good, Clark. He was very good. I liked him. He didn't do anything, I suppose, but he looked like he could have done something. He looked like he was taking players on. It just broke down a bit, but it wasn't his best performance. But he still looked like the only player who looked like could break them down or cause a goal. So I just hope that he can kick back on to where he was Saturday, because I don't think it was a big drop off from him. I just feel like everyone around him weren't performing and weren't at his level. And I'm not being Tim Sherwood with not Carlton Palmer. Oh God, I don't want to talk about him this week. Anyway, Cole Palmer. I'm not being like him. You'd be brilliant if you weren't playing with crap players, which I could say about Clark Udvar. But he wasn't great. But I do feel like there was a lack of support for Clark. So he gets a free. And Andy Cook. Well, it was interesting reading the comments to the 6 things we learned. If you haven't watched it, watch it, because we won 3-0 and you can rejoice in an actual victory. But I was reading the comments and it was divisive on Andy Cook, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic Saturday. Tonight he struggled. I read someone on Twitter saying, Andy Cook ain't James Anson. He ain't going to be able to win headers, and he ain't going to be able to battle with centre backs who are the same size as him. 6'7", 6'6". He ain't going to be able to do that, and he ain't Andy Cook. He'll wrestle with them, and that's what I like about him. He won't give in His work rate is selfless. You know, he'll give his all, and that's what I like. But then it's on the team. Why do you keep hoofing it to him? Play it into his feet, let him spin him. You know, try something different. But then I do feel like his movement could have been better as well. So I'll give him a 2. But I feel like a lot of his criticism's massively undeserved and unwarranted. But a 2-0 defeat to 23rd, obviously now 22nd, Forest Green, but a disgusting performance, you know. And that's why I'm sick of this football club and players, because you get believing, you get on the Bradford City hype train, you think playoffs is doable, bang, straight back down. And I'm not saying we're going down, I'm just saying we're straight back down to planet Earth, aren't we? You know, we just can't keep a run going. And when it comes to big moments, we don't take them, and when it comes to big games, we bottle them. Prove me wrong. Like the video if you did, subscribe if you're new. Have a good one.